morning, everyone. This is Rajesh, and today I am going to tell you the last reading video in history, chapter 4, the Mughal Empire. In my previous video, we will read about the Mughal relation with Rajput. In the same way, today we are going to teach you or we are going to read Japt and Jamidar. So you need to write this one, Japt and Jamindar. So in this video, first we know what is the Japt, what is the Japt, and what is the meaning of Jamidar. First we read it. The main source of income available to Mughal rulers was tax on the produce of the peasantry. The meaning of peasantry, that means farmer. What the farmer produce, this is the main source of revenue in Mughal Empire. In most places, peasant paid taxes through the rural elites. Rural elites, the word is elites. Now I will tell you the meaning of elite. That is the headman or the local chieftain. The Mughal use one term, Jamidars, to describe all the intermediaries, whether they were local headmen of villages or a powerful chieftain. Akbar Revenue Minister Todarmal. Revenue Minister of Akbar, learn it, Todarmal. Todarmal carried out a careful survey of crop yield, prices, and area cultivated for a 10-year period, 1570 to 1580. On the basis of this data, tax was fixed on each crop in cash. Each province was divided into revenue circles with its own schedule of revenue rates for individual crops. This revenue system was known as Japt. So, can you understand what the meaning of Japt? The process given by Todarmal, which survey the 10 years, survey a plan and declare the revenue prices of crops yield. It means before Todarmal's policies, before Todarmal's survey, the revenue is fixed for each and every crops. But when Todarmal survey and describe the different crops has different fixed the different revenue tax according to their production and valuable. So this process known as Japt. It was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administration could survey the land, such as Gujarat and Bengal, but is not working in Gujarat and Bengal. In some area, the Jamidar exercised a great deal of power. The exploitation by Mughal administrator could drive them to rebellion. Sometimes Jamidar and peasant of the same caste allied meaning of allied, in rebelling against Mughal authority. This peasant revolt challenged the stability of the Mughal Empire from the end of the 17th. Now we are going to tell you Akbarnama and Aine Akbari. Actually, Akbarnama is the biography of Akbar written by Abul Fazl, one of his close friend and his courtier. And Aine Akbari, actually Akbarnama divided into 3 volumes. The third volume known as the Aine Akbari, and it is very important because in this volume Abul Fazl described the administration policy, crops revenue, etc., number of army and many more things. So let me discuss here. Akbar ordered one of his close friend and courtiers, Abul Fazl, to write a history of his region. Abul Fazl wrote a three-volume history of Akbar region titled Akbar Nama. The first volume deal with Akbar ancients and the second volume, फर्स्ट वॉल्यूम क्या है कि उनके पूर्वजों के बारे में है, बाबर हो गए, हुमायूं हो गए या तैमूर हो गए, उनके एंशियंट्स के बारे में है. एंड द सेकेंड वॉल्यूम रिकॉर्डेड द इवेंट ऑफ अकबर रीजन, और सेकेंड रीजन है कि उनके रीजन में कौन कौन सी प्रमुख घटनाएं घटित होती हैं. द थर्ड वॉल्यूम इज द आइन अकबरी. It deals with Akbar's administrations, household, army, the revenues, and the geography of his empire. It also provided rich details about the tradition and culture of the people living in India. The most interesting aspect about the Ain Akbari is its rich statistical details about things as diverse as crops, oil, prices, wages and revenue. Now we move to the next topic, and that one is the Akbar policies. In previous video you also read the Mughal relation with Rajput, and at that section you will know that matrimonial relation between Rajput and Mughals. So Akbar is one of the most important part which started the matrimonial relation with Rajput rulers. Even Jodha is the princess of Rajput ruler, wife of Akbar. सो अकबर की पॉलिसी क्या है. उन्होंने पहले तो शांति का प्रस्ताव भेजते हैं, कहते हैं कि आप अपने वतन को हमारे में समाहित कीजिए, हमारी अथॉरिटी को स्वीकार कीजिए. इसके लिए वे शादी का प्रस्ताव रखते हैं, मुग़ल फैमिली में शादी करते हैं, और ऐसा हो जाता है तो अपने वो वतन जागीर को वापस कर देते हैं. वहाँ पे वो अपना शासन करते रहते हैं. आप देखते हो ना, मान सिंह, वे भी इनके क्या हैं, कार्टियस में से एक है, 9 रत्नों में से एक, जो कि इनके सेनापति होते हैं. महाराणा प्रताप के साथ ये युद्ध कर रहे होते हैं. लेकिन इसका मतलब नहीं है कि दूसरे रूलर सभी राजपूत रूलर नहीं. जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल दिया कि महाराणा प्रताप, ऐसे ही बहुत सारे सिसोदिया राजपूत उसके बहुत बेस्ट एग्जांपल्स हैं जिन्होंने अकबर की अधीनता को स्वीकार नहीं किया. बाद में पराजित भी होते हैं, लेकिन उनकी बहादुरी या उनके सम्मान में अकबर क्या करता है कि उनकी वतन जागीर को वापस कर देता है. ठीक है, लिए यही चीज़ें जो हैं औरंगजेब के शासन में नहीं रह पाती हैं, और वो ऑनर न दे करके इंसल्ट करता है, जिसका एग्जाम्पल आपको शिवाजी का मिलेगा. सो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू टेल अकबर पॉलिसीज. द ब्रॉड फीचर ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वेयर लेट डाउन बाय अकबर एंड वर एलॉबरेटली डिस्कस्ड बाय अबुल फजल इन हिज बुक. अपने बुक में उन्होंने अकबर की पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में, विशेषकर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के बारे में बहुत डिटेल में लिखा हुआ है. द अकबर नामा इन पार्टिकुलर इन लास्ट वॉल्यूम द आइन अकबरी. आइन अकबरी में इसका वर्णन है. अबुल फजल एक्सप्लेन दैट एम्पायर वॉज डिवाइडेड इंटू प्रोविंसेस कॉल्ड सूबास. माइंड इट, what the Abul Fazl said in Ain Akbari, actually it is the detail of Akbar administration policy. So one of things that the whole empire was divided into provinces, and these provinces called Shuba, and this governed by the Subedar, who carried out both political and military functions. Each province also had a financial officer or diwan. For the maintenance of peace and order in his province, the Subedar was supported by other officers such as the military paymaster, जिसको हम बख्शी कहते हैं, the minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage, सदर जिसे कह देते हैं, military commander फौजदार एंड द टाउन पुलिस कमांडर कोतवाल. ये टर्म्स आज भी हम यूज करते हैं. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. Akbar's novels commanded large army and had access to large amount of revenue. While they were loyal, the empire functioned efficiently. But by the end of the 17th centuries, many nobles had built independent networks of their own. Their loyalties to the empire were weakened by their own self-interest. While Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri during to the 1570s, he started discussion on the religion with the ulema. Now you have got the point why Akbar known as the great ruler. That is the point. What the कि while Akbar at Fatehpur Sikri during the 1517 ही स्टार्टेड डिस्कशन ऑन रिलीजन. वो धर्म पे एक विचार शुरू करता है, विचार विमर्श शुरू करता है विद द उलेमास, नॉट ओनली इन द इस्लामिक. एवरी रिलीजन शुड बी रिस्पेक्ट बाई अस. इसी अकबर ट्राई टू टीच अस विद द उलेमा, ब्राह्मण्स, Jesuit priests and who were Roman Catholics and Zoroastrians. This discussion took place in the Ibadat Khana. He was interested in the religions and social custom of different people. Akbar's interactions with people of different faiths made him realize that religion scholars who emphasize rituals and dogma were often bigots. Their teaching created division and disharmony amongst his subject. He is eventually, now look, this is the discussions and where this discussion is going on, known as Ibadat Khana, led Akbar to the idea of Sulhul or universal peace. This idea of tolerance did not discriminate between people of different religion in his realm. अब वो क्या करता है सुलह में, उसने क्या बताया कि किसी के भी साथ, किसी भी धर्म के साथ भेदभाव नहीं किया जाता है, डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं किया जाता है. सबको उन्होंने क्या बताया कि यूनिवर्सल पीस, एक साथ भाईचारा के साथ रहना. इंस्टीड इट फोकस ऑन ए सिस्टम ऑफ एथिक्स. अब वो ऑर्थोडॉक्स नहीं होता, वो एथिक्स की तरफ फोकस करता है. एथिक्स मीन्स नैतिक, अच्छे कर्म. और एथिक्स क्या है? ऑनेस्टी, जस्टिस, पीस. दैट वॉज यूनिवर्सली अप्लीकेबल. अबुल फजल helped Akbar in framing a vision of governance around his idea of Sulhul. This principle of governance was followed by Jahangir and Shahjahan as well. सुलहखल की पॉलिसी को आगे भी शाहजहां और जहांगीर द्वारा भी बढ़ाया जाता. नाउ वी डिस्कस, लेट वी नो अबाउट सुलहखुल. एक्चुअली जहांगीर, विच वाज अकबर सन, डिस्क्राइब हिज फर्दर पॉलिसी ऑफ सुलहखुल इन द फॉलोइंग वर्ड्स. वो अपने वर्ड्स में सुलहखुल की पॉलिसी को, उसकी नीतियों को बताता है. क्या कहता है? As in the wide expanse of divine comparison there is a room for all classes and the followers of all creeds. So, in his empirical dominations, which on all sides were limited only by the sea, there was room for the professors of opposite religions and for beliefs, good and bad, and the road of interference was closed. Sunni and Shias meet in one mosque, and Christians and Jews in one church to pray. He is constantly follow the principle of universal peace. Now we are going to tell you the Mughal Empire in the 17th centuries. क्या होता है कि मुगल एम्पायर का 17th सेंचुरीज में, एक्चुअली 77 में आफ्टर द डेट ऑफ औरंगजेब, और द रीजन इज ऑफ इन औरंगजेब. The administrative and military of efficiency of the Mughal Empire led to great economic and commercial prosperity. Prosperity means samriddhi. Now we will write the meaning of this one. International travelers describe it as the fabled land of wealth, but these same visitors were also appalled at the state of poverty that existed side by side with the greatest opulence. The inequalities were glaring. Document from the 12th year of the Shah Jahan region inform us that the highest ranking Mansabdar were only 445 in number out of total 8,000. This is small number, a mere 5.6% of the total number of Mansabdar received 61.5% of the total estimated revenue of the empire as salary for themselves and their troopers. A great deal of their income on salaries and goods. The expenditure benefited the artisans and the peasantry who supplied them with goods and produce, but the scale of revenue collection left very little for investment in the hand of the primary producers. The peasant and the artisans, the poorest among them, lived from hand to mouth, and they could hardly consider investing in additional resources, tools, and supplies to increase productivity. The wealthy peasantry and artisanal group, the merchant and bankers, provide in his economic wars. The enormous wealth and resources commanded by the Mughal elite made them an extremely powerful group of people in the late 17th centuries. As the authority of the Mughal emperor slowly declined, जो अथॉरिटी है मुगल की धीरे धीरे डिक्लाइन होती है, पतन होता है. His servant emerged as powerful center of the power in the regions. They constituted new dynasties and held command of provinces like Hyderabad and Awadh. Although they continue to recognize the Mughal emperor in Delhi as their master, by the 18th century, the provinces of the empire had consolidated their independent political identities. We will read more about them in chapter 10. Actually, this region actually was related to the Aurangzeb, after the Aurangzeb. So, this is the last reading video of Mughal Empire. I think you read it well and understand it well. If any problem recording related to the reading video, please ask or query anytime when you want. Thank you. Have a nice day. Next video I will started the giving the explanation video of this topic. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.